Kurt, we braved the coldest day of the year so far just to get this lovely cosmic wind and all the other planes.
It was, I don't know about cosmic wind. We had polar wind today, though.
Man, it was cold.
It was chilly, such as the fall, winter flying season.
34 degrees when we started flying this morning.
Frost on the pumpkin.
Yeah, you're not kidding there. Well, let's jump into the 5x5 review and find out how this little bugger
All right, fire away.
All right, build as advertised. We gave it a 5 out of 5.
It was very straightforward on the build. Excellent finish. Great Plains kit, or ElectriFly, Great Plains, Avico, any of their products. They're expertly built, pre-manufactured for assembly. Fiberglass fuse and build-up balsa wings. So
yeah, we commented on that too. We've really been liking the fiberglass blended with the build-up wing.
Yep.
It's a good combination. It gives a lot of durability to the fuse, but it also is just that perfect weight balance, I think.
And in fact, when I was building this, I was thinking to myself while I was putting it together, this is the perfect example of an ARF.
Yeah.
It has all of the elements from, you know, a little bit of trimming on the fiberglass here and there. Not much, but you're just making sure everything fits just right.
Yeah.
And then pretty much just assembly of everything that's common and typical in an ARF, from control surfaces. You got a little bit of control surface hinging, but not the ailerons. So kind of a good crawl before you walk, before you run approach to ARFs. This would be a great build kit for somebody that was just getting an ARF.
Yeah. Well, that kind of covers finish too. We gave it a 5 out of 5, and we pretty much nailed that already.
Very attractive.
Power, 5 out of 5 also.
This, you got to realize when you can't see it, and even when you look at the specs, it doesn't always sink in.
Yeah.
But when I got finished with the plane, with the battery out, just sitting on the bench, holding that plane, there was nothing to it. And I handed it to you today. I said, Rob, feel this. It was just
shocking,
air.
really.
And you've got a 10. You've got a 10-size motor on there.
You know, we're starting to see that a lot more too, is these 10s being put in, but I can see why. I really can.
Oh, you have, and on this airframe, you know, it really complemented it extremely well. And we'll talk about ground handling and stuff. It does have an impact there.
Yep. Okay, ground handling. 4 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
When I first started, 4 to 5. Yeah, that's it. When I first tried to take it off, I was wanting a ground loop.
Yeah.
And it was, wow, this has so much power, so much power.
There's so much torque.
Full up elevator when I did my rollout. And then you have maybe a 5-foot rollout, and it's really that short.
And it doesn't look bad, it's just fast.
It's fast. So what you need to do is full up elevator, and as you start getting some speed, you can back that off to about, you know, maybe half up elevator. And then it's going to hold the tail down enough and give you some authority on the ground to be able to make that transition. A little bit of practice, but the first time you try this, go ahead and just give it full up elevator. And we had a bit of a headwind too today.
Yeah, we did.
So, you know, it's definitely going to get very light on the tail, and it's going to want a ground loop on you immediately.
Yeah.
But then it tracked nicely on takeoffs.
Durability, 4.5 out of 5.
Durability was actually, in the other half of ground handling is the landing, and the landings were beautiful on this thing.
Oh, yeah,
it settled. I don't know. I zipped right past it.
Yeah, you did.
They settled right into it. Settles right into ground effect, and you just hold it there. It holds and holds, holds. You have plenty of tail authority, so you're going to really get happy when you go to land it.
Yeah.
For any challenge it gives you on the takeoff, the landing is just very, very sweet. You're going to want to bring it in fairly flat and straight and hold it, and then let it set on those mains and bring the tail down like a typical tail dragger.
Yeah.
You don't usually want a 3-point land a low-wing sport plane like this.
No.
It'll give you some trouble. But okay, back to
durability. 4.5 out of 5.
Fiberglass fuse and build-up balsa wings. It's what you'd expect at this, and it's fairly small and pretty compact and pretty stout.
Yeah.
In fact, we had a landing today where we went up on the nose a little bit, and it touched the battery catch, and it was on concrete. And it popped the battery hatch off, but there was no mark on it.
Yeah, there wasn't any mark. Really, the only thing we accomplished out of that nose over was a custom
prop balancing.
APC prop.
Yeah, just short. I thought, you know, if we knock an inch off the prop, or inch and a half.
You see those Reno racers shaving them, so
yeah, it increases that speed a little bit.
Flight is advertised 5 out of 5.
Flight is advertised.
Hit on that several times.
Yeah, it's really a great flyer. It tracks straight and true. If you look at it, you kind of get a look from the front. It looks like a longer nosed P-51.
Yeah, it does.
Around the center of the fuselage, like a P-51B.
Yeah. But you know, there's elements of Sea Fury in there too.
There are.
If you look at it, I mean, if you start really concentrating on what the high points and what the shape is, there's a lot of. It's a blend of a lot of things.
And the thing is, this is another plane with a very wide flight envelope.
Yeah.
Handles great at low speeds. Doesn't seem real prone to tip stalling. Comes in well on the ground. But then when you hammer it, the wing incident is, in the airframe design, is symmetrical enough, and the thrust line comes right at that tail section, to where it'll handle all the speed you give it. It doesn't want to balloon or climb. So
well, you know, with sticking with one aileron servo, you always end up having a longer aileron, usually on a model anyhow.
Yep.
And you know, this one goes from wingtip to root.
From root to tip, yeah.
Yeah, it's solid to aileron, and I think that has a lot to do with not getting tippy when it gets into ground handling. You've got so much
you've got
authority.
control right out at the very, very tip. So.
And that makes a big difference.
Yep.
I've noticed that with these planes that have the long ailerons.
Absolutely.
Flight time, 5 out of 5. We got a long time on this thing. I don't know exactly what we did, but
we have no weight.
yeah.
And we have, so you can fly around it at 1/3 or a quarter throttle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Quarter throttle, you can just zip right along.
through the air. Yeah.
You can do all your flat turns you want to,
Yep.
and even a little bit of altitude change at a quarter throttle.
Yeah.
So you're not even taxing the power plant.
And we've noticed the setup with the Power 10, Rimfire 10.
Rimfire 10 motor and the 1800 or the 2200 up to a 2200 milliamp
It's a
pack.
very efficient combination.
Yeah, it's
and
an 8 to 15 minute power
definitely
plant.
so.
Yeah.
Field size, definitely we would suggest flying this at a flying field.
We comfortably got above 80 miles an hour on this today.
I would say easily.
Comfortably got above 80 on it. So yeah, you're going to want to be out of the field.
Not in a park.
No,
we
not
can't
appropriate
stress it
for a park
enough.
flyer.
Use common sense. Portability, 4.5 out of 5. The size is so small.
Yep. It's compact.
Yeah, it's easy to pop in the back seat and go. And last but not least, the skill level, we've got it as intermediate and advanced, and I think anytime a plane starts to breach that 90-mile-an-hour envelope, it needs to be bumped up to the high intermediate to
Requires
advanced.
intermediate. You've got visibility issues at that point.
I think you had a good analogy for that. Any one of us can clutch a NASCAR around a neighborhood, but as soon as we get into the throttle, we're out of our league.
Stuff's going to go crazy. So
it's a good way to put it. It really is.
Yeah,
because
and with this envelope being so wide, you can fly it slow, and if you just take it easy on the throttle, you can fly this around as a intermediate pilot very comfortably.
Yep.
It's as soon as you take it past half throttle, now all of a sudden it immediately slides up into the advanced category.
Yeah.
You've got a hot plane on your hands.
Yeah, and it moves out quick, and things happen fast at that speed.
Very fast, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, that wraps up our review of the Cosmic Wind. You can go to tubefly.com and see the full review. Or for our mobile users, you can go to RC Flight Source and download the app. And then you have our news, tools, and reviews, and some exclusive content on the go. I'm Kurt with Two Brothers Hobby.
And I'm Rob with RC Flight Source. Thanks for watching.